Yo, yo, yo. What's going on? What's going on, people? Let me see if I got comments going. Nah, we good. All right, cool. I do want to share my screen. I think I got this working this time around. Yo, what's going on, everybody? I'm gonna post a link up top. I did just start the live capping over on YouTube as well. I'm gonna see if a couple more people join, but I'm gonna post a link up top. You guys got plays you want to share, questions you want to ask, you can hop on the YouTube link. Let me post it up here. It's been a while since I did both of these at the same time. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna post this up top. I'm gonna also post chalkboard community up top. Yo, what up, Scott? What up, man? Happy Sunday to you, my brother. Yeah, we need a Sunday show, man. I'm just trying to tap in for the community because we don't typically get Sunday shows, man. I see Joey in here. Me and Joey was actually talking about this. Something I talked to Ronald about. We don't get a lot of Sunday shows, so we just trying to get some cash, man. Trying to find our spots for sure. I got a couple that I like, and I know we got about an hour before the slate start. I only want to be on here for about an hour, at the max. But I know we got a lot of games today. So if you're on the YouTube link, I'm over here on the MLB site. You can see the starting pitchers. If I hit the refresh button, we do got some starting lineups already as well. We got a double header for the Rockies and the Reds because of delay yesterday. But we get the Blue Jays and the Pirates first. I definitely want to get into that game and talk about that game as well. The A's and the Orioles, the Rangers and the Red Sox. So we got a full day of baseball, man. I'm not going through every game on the card because it's Sunday and I got better things to do than to talk about some of these teams and some of these spots for these teams that I don't see an advantage. So definitely want to chop it up though. Get the opinions of you guys as well. I know it's gonna be some sharp minds that jump in here. So let's get into it. Well, before we do that, let's recap yesterday. So yesterday I did a space. I talked about taking the under for the first five. I actually live capped the under for the first five in the Cardinals and the Cubs game with Smiley on the mound versus Wainwright. Wainwright absolutely gets rocked early, gives up 3 runs in the first 5. So the first 3 under 2.5 that myself, Kamish, I think we were all on it. Kamish, I know Jay Jones was on it. Prop guy was on it. We all lost that, and I ended up playing the first 5 as well under 4.5, and that was also a loss. But I talked about the strongest trend yesterday being the Orioles with Vault on the mound at the crib where he was undefeated, and that whether you took the first 5 or the full game, that was the play I wrote up and put in chalkboard, and that was an absolute cash. So we did get some money there. But yeah, enough about yesterday. Let's see what we can find for today, man. But once again, before I get started, I did post up top the link for the YouTube if you guys want to hop over there so you can see my screen as I live cap some of these games. Also the free chalkboard that myself, Finesse the Books and UCAP run. The link is posted up there if you guys want to join. So those things are posted, but let's get into the slate, man. Let's get into the slate. Like I said, we got about an hour. 12:05 Eastern time is what time the Blue Jays and the Pirates kick off. Looking at this matchup, because this was one of the games that I wanted to talk about. I circled like 3 or 4 games that I wanted to talk about. And then if you guys got anything you want to share, feel free to request up. I'm cool with people capping the game, looking at different angles for sure. So Blue Jays and the Pirates, we got Stripling on the mound, Ross Stripling versus JT Brubaker today. The Blue Jays come in heavy favorites, which I've been talking about fading the Blue Jays. And them not really fading the Blue Jays, but not really giving them a lot of credit for not backing them, I guess. Because they have been going through this time last week, they have been going through a little rough patch, especially at the crib up there in Toronto. But they've done well in this spot, man. They've done really, really well in this spot. I like Stripling on the road as well. So let's go ahead and get into this game. I want to say that the line actually came out at it's set a minus 215 right now. I want to say it opened like 200 too. So I got some notes on this game, but I also want to show you guys what I'm looking at, which is why I bought in why I'm sharing my screen over here on on the YouTube live stream. So, like I said, feel free to hop over there. But I'm gonna go through this game real quick. I actually placed the bet already in this game. So, Blue Jays Pirates. Like I said, we get Stripling on the mound versus Brubaker. He's done well in this spot. He is, let's see, he's 6-2 with a 2.93 ERA. He lasted about 5 innings, only giving up about 1.63 runs, so less than 2 runs in this spot in his away games. Over the course of his last 3 games, just 1.33 runs as well. I know he got touched up in his last game. One of the things that I don't have up here that I looked into was one of his last games, and it was at home. For some reason, he just pitches better on the road, so I'm cool with getting behind him on the road. To me, the numbers kind of make sense in this one. I talked about Ross Stripling a little bit. Now on to Mr. Brubaker. He has a 4.39 ERA overall. It actually goes up on the road to it goes up at home to a 5.07. In his day games, you guys can see if you're looking where I am right here. On the YouTube site, you see in his day games, his ERA actually goes up to 5.97. He's allowing 3 runs specifically in this spot. And I think, we know that the Blue Jays versus right-handed pitching is the trend that you kind of want to get behind, mostly throughout the whole season, even though they did go through the slump recently. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the first 5. I like the full game, but I think you get a better price at the first 5. I want to say when I played it earlier, the Blue Jays minus 0.5, it was a minus 122. The full game had jumped all the way. The run line was a minus 137, I think, when I saw it on FanDuel. And I am in Virginia where I can play it on multiple books, so I did play it on multiple books. But I want to say the line was pretty similar, the first 5 line anyway. But anyway, continuing to kind of cap the game. If we come down here on Spodez, which is where I typically start all my capping, and you look at the Blue Jays, this is what I'm looking at right here is the Blue Jays home splits against right-handed pitching on the year. They're hitting almost 270, averaging 5.25 runs. The Pirates, on the other hand, at home, they're hitting 225, averaging 3.28 runs. And then over the last 5, like I said, the Blue Jays have kind of picked it up. They've been covering that run line specifically on the road against right-handed pitching, even though they're only hitting 216. They're averaging 4.6 runs in this spot. The Pirates have been struggling, only hitting 206, only averaging 2.2 runs in this spot over the last 4 games. All their games have gone under. The Blue Jays have the much better bullpen. Last 5 games, 1.26 ERA versus a 6.66 for the Pirates. Over the course of the season, the Blue Jays bullpen is a 3.33. Pirates have a 5.22. So one of the things that I looked at specifically in this one, I'm going to actually pull up my notes for you guys so you can see them. You probably might not be able to see them completely because I don't think I can zoom in, but so much more. But all right, so I got the Blue Jays. Some of the things that I SDQL was the Blue Jays. They're actually 8-0 in their last 8 road games versus right-handed pitching. 6-2 on the run line as a favorite in this spot. And then I talked about Stripling specifically in this spot. So 6-2, 6-2 straight up and on the run line in his away starts. 6-2 in the first 5 with a run differential of almost 3 runs in the first 5. So that's what I played. I played the first 5 over 0.5. And after I go through this, I'll actually SDQL just a tad bit of it so you guys can see it. Brubaker, I talked about him, and I'll SDQL this too. He's given up 4.5 runs in the first 5 alone in his last 4 home starts versus team with a winning record this season. He has an ERA of 4.39, which shoots to 5.07. And I kind of talked about all that already. The Blue Jays have the superior bullpen. I talked about that already as well. And then I talked about the Pirates bats. So if I go in and I look at some of the SDQL stuff that I did already, let me see if I can just go back on here versus having to type all of it in again. So I actually looked, let's see. Okay, so this was the first thing that I actually, let me see. This is the first thing I wanted to share with you guys right here. And I'm using Killer Sports, which is another SDQL website. Is a tad bit different from Give Me the Dog, but Give Me the Dog is experiencing some difficulties right now as far as like being able to pull in opponent your left-handed pitchers versus right-handed pitcher. So I'm actually looking at I'm looking at did I pull that up right? No, I didn't. I'm actually working on both. I'm working on Killer Sports and Give Me the Dog right now over the course of this morning. So the first thing I talked about I wanted to pull in was the Blue Jays against starting right-handed pitching away. So right here you guys can see. Let's see. Let me make sure I got this up. Yeah. So right here on my screen, you guys can see straight up record. They're 30 and 22, which is a 57% 50 pretty much 58% hit rate. But if we go down here to to the last few games, this is the sample size that I'm talking about right here, right? So right here you guys can see if you first of all, if you join late, there is a link. There's two links that I posted up top. One of them will take you straight to the YouTube page that I'm on right now, where you guys can actually SDQL, where you guys can actually see my screen at SDQL. Some of the SDQLs that I ran to come up with the best that I'm placing today. And shout out to Jeff. I see Jeff in here. Appreciate you joining, Jeff. As always, my brother. I'm glad you came back. Prop, I see you in here, Joey. If y'all got anything, y'all definitely request up. But right now, I'm talking about this Blue Jays, and I'm talking about the Blue Jays in the Pirates game, and why I like the Pirates, why I like the Blue Jays in this spot. So what I have here is the Blue Jays against starting right-handed pitching in their away in specifically in away games. So what I've highlighted right here, and let me just zoom in just a tad bit so you guys can see it a little better if you are over here. And shout out, what up, SoCal? I didn't even see you in here, bro. What up, SoCal? What up, DJ? I'm gonna look at that as well, SoCal. So right here, what I've highlighted for you guys is the Blue Jays against starting right-handed pitching in their away games. So you guys can see 1, 2, what's that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's what I talked about. 8-0 straight up in their last 8 road games. So if you guys are looking for, just a parlay piece, and you don't want to take the Blue Jays minus the 0.5 in the first 5, or you just don't want to take the you don't want to take the Blue Jays on the run line, then I think just playing the Blue Jays, because they hit right-handed pitching so well, is actually a nice little parlay piece if you just wanted to play the Blue Jays. But in this spot right here, we see against Frankie Montas and the Yankees, they had Barrios on the mound. They won 9-2. Against the Yankees again, 4-0, 5-2 against Garrett Cole, 9-3, 3-2, 6-5 against Cutter Crawford, 4-0, and 4-1. So even in these 8 games, they've covered the run line, all of them except 2. And I don't see a reason why they don't cover it again against Brubaker and the Pirates today. Last thing I wanted to show you guys is actually at the bottom of Spodevs, and this is just the Pirates' last 10 games, but specifically I want to kind of zoom in on the recent struggle. So they lost to the Blue Jays yesterday, which was a bullpen day for the Blue Jays. They scored 1 run. They lost 4-1. Against when Manoah was on the mound on, I think it was on Friday, the Pirates didn't score. They lost that game 4-0. And then against the last game of the series against the Brewers earlier this week, they lost 6-1. So 3 straight losses, 4 straight unders. They're just not scoring right now. And as you can see, every pitcher that they pitched that they played against recently has all been right-handed. So they're really struggling against right-handed pitchers right now. So that's my look for this game specifically. I took the Blue Jays on the first. Oh, hold on. One more thing I wanted to share real quick, and that was I wanted to bring in what I had in my notes for you guys, just so you guys can see the run differential. So what made the first 5 stick out to me specifically? So if you're looking at Ross Stripling, right, in his away starts, he is, and I got this up on the SDQL over here. He's 5-2, or 6-2. If you look at the dog versus the favorite, we got him 4-2 right here, 2-0 right here on the run line as a dog. But this is what stuck out to me right here, right? So if you guys can see this, the first 5, he's getting a lot of run support, 4.62 runs in his away starts. He's only giving up 1.75. To me, that's almost a 3-run differential, right? So that's what I'm looking for if I want to take a first 5, on the run line. On the opposite side, if we look at Brubaker in his home starts, we see that the Pirates are actually scoring 3.3 runs in this spot and giving up 3, right? So not a lot of advantage right there. But what I bought in was if the opponent win percentage is greater than 50%, looking at this spot, right? So he's 2-2, but in these games where he's played against even Sean Manaea back in April, Adrian Hauser in June, Nola in the Phillies, and then Max Fried in the Braves. This is what I was talking about. He's given up 4.5 runs against teams that have a 50% win percentage at home, and he's only getting 2.5 runs as run support in the first 5. So that's why specifically I took the Blue Jays in the first 5 run line minus 0.5. I think I got it at a minus 122. Anybody got any looks on this game? Kamish, I see you in here. Prop in here. SoCal, if you got anything on this game, YBB, I see you in here. There's some smart people in here. Y'all smarter than me. Y'all definitely can feel free to chime in. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. What's up, SoCal?
Hey, what's up, Chris? I just wanted to jump in real quick. Didn't want to interrupt you earlier, but I sent you a workaround for the starter throws, left starter throws, right? For Give Me the Dog. If instead of using the shortcut, if you type in O : starter throws out completely equals, and then the half apostrophe L, and then close it, it works.
Nice. Okay, I see that. So I actually just took a picture of that, bro, and that's extremely helpful because a lot of the times I need to know what those trends are. So I appreciate that, SoCal, for sure.
No problem.
My God, appreciate that, bro. Because I know I reached out to you earlier. I was trying to figure that out. But yeah, that's my look. Y'all got anybody got anything or any thoughts? Anybody disagree? Anybody on the Rays today? Anybody like the Rays? Like the Pirates? I don't know how you like the Pirates, but you can. I'm pretty sure it's something that supports them. If not, then let's keep it moving. If nobody got anything, let's keep it moving. I know it's kind of early on a Sunday morning. For some, the next game I want to go back to the Orioles. So the Orioles, we actually cast on the Orioles yesterday in the chalkboard. And I'm looking at them again today. I know that if we go to the pitching matchup, we got Spencer Watkins versus Adrian Martinez. Not as strong of a spot today for the Orioles as it was yesterday, in my opinion, anyway. But I mean, anytime that I can fade the A's and it makes sense, I'm trying to do it because it's putting money in my pocket. So looking at this matchup from the Spodev's perspective, we get Mr. Martinez, who has a 5.23 ERA and 6 overall starts. But what I looked at specifically in this one was his away starts, right, where it jumps to 6.91. If you're following on YouTube, you can see I kind of highlighted that 6.91 right there. He's not pitching deep in the games, almost 5 innings, but most of the time a little less. And then earned runs, he's given up 3.67 in his away starts, which is bodes well for how well the Orioles have been hitting righties and lefties at home recently, right? They've won and covered the run line in both games of this series so far, Friday night and last night. So that's just really what I was looking at for Mr. Martinez on that side. Far as Spencer Watkins, he hasn't been the greatest, right? 9-9 overall, 4.10 ERA, at home, 4.17. And what up, Ski? Ski, if you got anything on these games, feel free to request that, bro. I'm over here on the YouTube link as well, kind of going through some of the SDQL like Ronald does on his show. But I got the spaces going too, so feel free to request up if you got anything, Ski. The only thing I put in so far was the Blue Jays. I'm on them first 5, back in Stripling in this spot, fading Brubaker minus 0.5. So I played the first 5 minus 0.5, and I kind of went through that game. Spencer Watkins. So Spencer Watkins, 4.17 ERA at home. He is giving up 2 runs specifically in this spot, a little over 2 runs. and I didn't like everything. I didn't feel as confident in this play as I did yesterday. But if we come down here and we look at the bats, so the A's on the road, they are hitting righties about 220, averaging a little less than 4 runs in this spot on the complete season. The Orioles are averaging 4.32 runs in this spot at home against righties. But if you look at the last five, the A's just came out of the series with the Nationals, I think. So some of these numbers might be inflated because we know the Nationals don't have the greatest pitching, right? And we've seen the A's kind of struggle to score over the last few games, just playing against the Orioles in general. So um, the Orioles, who also been struggling to score until they got to face the A's, numbers might look a little deflated right here. Only hitting just a tad bit over 200, averaging 3.4 runs in this spot against righties. So if I go to my notes, what I want to show you guys that I looked at was so Martinez on the road specifically. So I'm gonna actually bring in. Let's see. So yeah, this is what I wanted you guys to see. Let me just move this tab over. So looking at Martinez, let me see if I can zoom in. There we go. So looking at Martinez, it's a small sample size, right? Looking at Martinez home games, right? So we got one against the Rangers. He went 4 1/3 in his pitch. He gave up 6 runs in that spot. We got another one against Seattle back on June 30th. He went 4 2/3 in his pitch. He gave up 7 runs in that spot. So for me, it's a fade of Martinez. I know that the Orioles bats can get hot. They can get hot early. So I'm looking for the Orioles to kind of keep it going today. One of the things that I didn't like was that if you look at Spencer Watkins in this spot, right? I think what I had SDQL was Spencer Watkins. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Spencer Watkins, when he's pitching against a team that when he's at home against a team that has a win percentage below 50%, because we know that the A's are one of the worst teams in the league. What did I do wrong? I think he's actually like 0-2 is what I saw earlier. So that that doesn't make me want to back him in this spot, but I just feel like he didn't get a lot of run support in that spot. Oh, I spelled his name wrong. You got a C in it. I thought it was an A. So let's see. Spencer Watkins against teams with a 50% win teams that win over 50% of their games at home specifically. I'll take out this again. Hey, I still can't get it to come up. Okay, so here we go. So Spencer Watkins at home versus teams with less than a 50% win percentage. He's actually 2-3 in this spot. But you see that the team right here he was only getting 2.2 runs as run support in this spot. One of them was against Eric Lauer and the Brewers. They lost that game. They beat the Red Sox 2-1. They beat the Rangers 2-1 against Glenn Otto. They lost to the Pirates. This was the bad loss that I didn't really like, and it actually was pretty recently too. Let me get commission up here. It was actually pretty bad. They lost 1-8 against Spencer Watkins and the Pirates. Then they followed that one up with a 2-3 loss to the Cubs with Adrian Sampson on the mound about 2 weeks ago. So today we get him at the second biggest price that we've got him at, -175. He got a loss in this spot, and he also got another loss as a favorite against the Cubs. So I'm interested to hear from you guys. Y'all like the play? Y'all don't like the play? The only other thing I had in my notes was, I talked about this, him not being the greatest, but the A's struggle to score in this spot. They've lost 4 in a row, and 9 of their last 13 against right-handed pitching on the road, with 2 of those losses coming against the Nats last week, the Nationals, and one of them coming against the Rangers, all less quality teams than the Orioles. So I like this spot even though the trends don't necessarily support Watkins in this spot. I still just kind of want to get back on the Orioles because I think that they score more than the A's score, and I think that Spencer Watkins can slow them down. Like if he can ever slow anybody down, it's going to be this Orioles team that's been struggling, and probably just can't wait to get back to the West Coast. Anybody got any thoughts on this game? Kamesh, talk to me. You got anything on the Orioles in the A's? I know we were on them yesterday. I don't know if you was on them, but I know I was on them yesterday when I and that's the play I gave out in chalkboard.
Yeah, I'm a little bit lighter on day-to-day action at this point in the MLB season because I have some futures that are pretty much my bets. Like I'm sitting on a plus 1100 for the A's to have the worst record in baseball. So they're like I'm not necessarily fading the A's day-to-day right now. I'm sort of just sitting on those and hoping that Oakland loses. And then like the White Sox yesterday, I know we talked earlier in the day. I was like I'm not going to bet the White Sox money line, but I expect Dylan Cease to have a good day. But I encourage people like invest in Dylan Cease to win the Cy Young. He was plus 270 yesterday when we did the show. He's plus 110 right now. So stuff like that. Like September for me is a lot more about macro betting during the MLB season. So that's where I'm at. If you are betting this game individually, like you don't have any futures action, anything like that. Spencer Watkins, his overall numbers in the year are not crazy good, but over his last 12 starts, 3.88 ERA, 3.66 FIP. When he's good, he's really good. When he's bad, he's really bad, and that's where some of his stats get skewed a little bit. So like that last game against Cleveland, he gave up the 5 earned. He got touched up against Pittsburgh, gave up the 4 earned. But in his last 12 starts, he's given up 2 earned runs or fewer in all but 5 of those. So 7 out of the 12, he's given up 2 runs or less. Only twice in that span has he given up more than 3 runs. So he's given you an opportunity to win a baseball game almost every single time he steps on the mound. Adrian Martinez is really bad, which is not surprising. We talk about this seemingly every single day with the Oakland Athletics. They're just not a good baseball team. They're not necessarily given a reasonable opportunity to win a game by their front office because of the starting pitchers that they're sending out there every single day. Baltimore is a far superior team. They have the better starting pitcher in this one. They have the better offense. They have the better bullpen, which I know we talked about yesterday. And I mentioned like when a team has the advantage in all 3 phases of the game like that, they win on the run line about 70% of the time, from my experience. It's the same situation today. I'm not talking to anybody off of any Baltimore tickets on Sunday.
Yeah, I like it, Kamish. I like it, bro. I like it when we on the same side. Even if you're not on the same side, you're not gonna play it. I like it a lot. What I brought up here was I talked about Adrian Martinez and him giving up those runs. So here we just get an average. Like I said, it's a small sample size, but in his 3 games so far on the road, he's given up 4.67. I don't think the Orioles need a pitcher, that actually is giving up 4.67 to get to cover the run line in the first 5. So I'm looking for the Orioles to keep it going today. That's something else that I had put in. I see Scott in the chat says that he's taking the O's again, likes him in this spot. Let's ride, Scott. Let's get it. Anybody else got any thoughts on this game? If not, we can kind of keep it moving. I only had one other spot that I wanted to talk about because I don't think anybody else got anything. All right, cool. we gotta talk about it. The first thing I looked at last night before I fell asleep was, I actually got 2 more spots I wanted to talk about. I do want to get to Free versus Lopez today. Some conflicting trends that I ran in that game, so I'm interested to hear you guys' thoughts on that one. But it's definitely Zach Gallen day. I gotta go back to Zach, man. The guy hasn't given up a run, and it feels like forever. So yeah, he back at the crib today. Brewers and Diamondbacks. Let me pull this one up on Spodez. I can't get away from. I can't let the day go by without talking about Zach Gallen and finding a way to take him. And there was a couple ways that I was looking at this game as well, because I saw the Brewers team total at 1.5. And the under wasn't juiced at all. I think it was like a -120, a -115. So I like that spot a lot. Or the first 5 for the Diamondbacks. Just backing Zach in this spot. So over on Spodevs, you guys can, if you're following on the YouTube link, you guys can see that Jason Alexander has not been too bad in this spot. He is 3-1 with a 2.95 ERA in his away starts. But recently, over his last three, and it's a small sample size. He's only pitched in 8. He's only started 8 games with a 4.04 ERA. Last two, ERA has went up to 5.65 though. So we get him. He's only given up 1.75 runs, so less than 2 in his away starts. But his last 3, he's averaging about 3. But Zach, man, like I said, it's about Zach, bro. Zach is 10-3 at home with a 2.65 ERA. He's pitching deep in the games. I know if you guys are looking at this, it says he's only going about 6 on average, but he's pitched deep in the games recently because of the no runs. I know he's won at least 7 innings in 2 of his last 3, if not more. Only giving up 1.77 runs, last 3 1.68, and that number just continues to go down, of course, because he hasn't really given up a lot of runs at all. Zach is also 7-1-1 to the under, the full game under. So that's a really, really strong trend for the day as well. Looking at the bats for the Brewers, they do hit righties better than they hit lefties. The Diamondbacks hit lefties better than they hit righties. As far as home and road, that trend stays the same. Brewers hit righties better than they hit lefties. The Diamondbacks hit righties better than they hit lefties. Diamondbacks hit lefties better than they hit righties as well. But if you look at the last 5, the Brewers, they're not doing terribly bad. 234 average, batting average, averaging 3.2 runs. The Diamondbacks are hot right now. Versus righties, they're hitting almost 280, 7.2 runs on average. And I went in and looked, kind of broke those games down as well, because I know that they did have a high scoring game. The one thing you can't back though, which is why when I do, when I've been backing Zach, it's always the first 5, because I've seen the Diamondbacks throw games away that he's pitched Jim in. As soon as he leaves the game, it's like next inning 3 runs are scored, and he's went 6 or 7 without any runs scored. So the only way I could back the Diamondbacks, I feel like, is full game. And the numbers, you guys can see the numbers as well. Last 5, the Brewers, or I think this is last 4, the Brewers have a 1.98 bullpen, 1.98 ERA out of the bullpen. The Diamondbacks have a 9.36. Home away, the Brewers have a 4.05. The Diamondbacks are worse at a 5.4. So I can't get behind the Diamondbacks, for the full game. I think the Brewers are the better team, even though the Diamondbacks have been playing some pretty good ball lately. I think the pitchers are pitching a lot well. We talked about Zach Davies in Ski's space on, I think it was Thursday or Friday. I know we talked about it. Merrill Kelly has been pitching really well. Zach Gallen has, we talked about, just the gym games that he's been pitching, and the streak. I want to say that's up to, I think I put it in my notes. The streak that's up to 31 and 1/3 inning pitch with no run scored. So a couple things that I looked at was Arizona first 5. They are the favorite in this game. I like taking Zach when they're the dog, but first 5 minus 0.5. Arizona is 5-1 straight up and on the run line against starting right-handed pitching since August 1st when Zach starts. The Brewers do dominate. The Brewers versus dominant right-handed pitchers tend to struggle to score. So one of the things, and I'll pull this up real quick, that I looked at was, because the Brewers hit righties a little bit better than they hit lefties, I wanted to see how well they do against righties who have an ERA of below 2.7, because I think Zach's like a 2.6 something. So 2.7, 2.8. So if you look back at the season, they actually scored 2 runs in 2 games against Gosselin, right? And I'm not saying that Zach is Gosselin. I'm not saying he's Gosselin, but he's pitching similar to Gosselin. They scored 4 against Manoah and the Blue Jays, and then they got donut to Musgrove. So I like this spot for them, and I'll SDQL it. Matter of fact, let me do it right now. So if you're on the YouTube page, I'm gonna look at actually I don't think I can do it on I gotta go to Killer Sports. So looking at the let's see. Looking at the Brewers, and opponent starter throws right, and opponent starter to date starter ERA is less than 2.7. They're actually 8-4. So you have to actually look through these games, right? So if you're looking at the screen, you see the two that I talked about with Goslin right here. They scored one on August the 23rd against Goslin. They scored one against Goslin on August the 17th. Jose Urena, I'm not including him. Josh Winder, I'm not even sure who that is because I don't watch the Twins play that often, but I'm not including him. Contreras, I'm definitely not including him. And if we take this out, then the total number drops a lot because they did win this game 19-2. Against Manoah, like I said, they got 4. And then against Musgrove, they got 0. Even against Pablo Lopez, they only scored 2. So I think the Brewers struggle again today, not just because it's Zach Gallen, but I think it's also because they just struggle against right-handed pitching in this spot, and I don't even think this was on the road or at home or anything. I just looked at them against right-handed pitching. Anybody got any thoughts on that at all? Let me get Prop God up here. Prop, what up, man? We got to talk, Prop, because I didn't think you was gonna make it, bro. I know you out on the West Coast in LA right now, man. And let me get Joey up here too. And I thought about you last night, Prop, because we talked about you specifically alluded to that Dodgers and Padres game as being a massacre and saying that you might go check it out last night, and that's exactly what it was. From Mookie first at bat in the top in the bottom of the first, it got out of hand pretty quick with the triple to start the game off against Manea. What up, Prop?
Man, bro, what's good, bro? Yeah, we thought about going, but we was in San Diego at the time, so we was gonna be like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from the stadium, and it was the second inning, so it really didn't make sense to go. But yeah, I kind of figured they was gonna do them like that.
You did.
I think everything we mentioned from that game cashed.
It did.
Earned runs to the Dodger team total, everybody's hits and bases and all that. I didn't look at Urias' stat line, but I knew when we was walking down the street and I looked into a bar and I saw the Dodgers was 8-0. I said, "Wow, I can't wait to talk to Chris tomorrow."
Yeah, it got out of hand like you projected, bro. You called it a massacre, and that's exactly what it was. And it's crazy, probably because I was so focused on. I had some NCAA plays I was watching at the time, so I thought the game actually started a little bit later than it did. And I talked about it last night, about like going in and checking my work before I played it. And I should have just played it though. But if you was watching the game in the top of the first with 2 outs, they hit a ball to the right side, deep right field. The Padres did. I forgot who it was. It was a flyout, and Mookie didn't catch the ball. It was actually Trace Thompson, my fault. It was actually Trace, Clay brother. So when he caught it, I was like, hold on, what? Mookie not playing? But by the time I was able to confirm that Mookie was playing, they had just put him at second base. The game locked up. Because as soon as I knew Mookie was in, because I had never checked confirmed lineup, as soon as I realized that Mookie was in, I couldn't even take the 1.5 because as soon as he hit the triple, it went to 2.5, and I was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna take the 2.5." So I ended up not even playing the game and just watching it and being frustrated the whole time. But I mean, it was good to see the Dodgers bounce back, because they have been struggling for sure. Just what you need, though, right? You need Manea when you've been struggling for a while.
Yeah,
they pounced on him.
Bounce back.
Yes,
sir. I think they're gonna get the Clevenger today too.
Yeah, we can talk about that game. We can definitely talk about that game.
I got something I ain't we gotta skip it. I do like Gallen in this spot.
Okay.
Just strikeouts though. The 5.5, I think is at -102. That's the best line shopping I saw. He's got 6 targets in his lineup with a line of a 5.5, and you expect him to go 6 to 7 innings. Last time he seen the Brewers, it was last season, of course, but he got 8 strikeouts in 5 innings. If you're looking at the 5.5 number, I know you don't do props for the people who are listening who do props. He's covered that number in 7 out of 10, and then 5 straight. 8 against the Pirates, 6 in Colorado against the Rockies, which is pretty tough. To generate strikeouts in Colorado, but the Rockies have been downhill. You know what I mean? So we've been seeing a lot of Ks for those guys. He had 12 in San Francisco. 6 against Kansas City, and then 7 against Philly. And Philly can be kind of tough as far as strikeout wise too. They get high contact. You know what I mean? In certain spots, because I've seen it myself trying to get strikeouts against them. You know what I mean? But in this matchup against Milwaukee, I think he'll do pretty well. The Brewers as a team got a 23% K percentage last 30 versus right-handed pitching. So I like that first 5 look. Or even if you wanted to, I was trying to do something live and take the Brewers plus 1.5 in the first 5, and then take him for 5 strikeouts and see if I can get a playable line on that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, even if you just play the 5.5 straight up, I like that because his splits are even with lefties and righties as far as K percentage. So the last 30, I want to say, hold on, look right now. 33% versus 39% K percentage versus lefties last 30, and 26% versus righties. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you got 5 lefties in his lineup, 4 righties. So it's set up perfect for him to have a great day. So I actually will be Diamondbacks everything. Diamondbacks first 5, Diamondbacks to win the game. Zach Gallen 5.5 strikeouts, and maybe you could do a player performance double on FanDuel and take Gallen for 5 and a win. I can tell you what the odds on that is right now, matter of fact. Well, 6 in the win is plus 120. So 5 in the win may be like minus 120-ish, which is still good for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll probably just end up playing the 5.5 straight up, to be honest, though. And I like that first 5 look you gave as well.
Yeah, I think I actually played the first 5 already. But yeah, I was looking at what about a team total? Like do we think that under 1.5 is playable in this situation, prop? Like, I'm interested to hear from all you guys. Like, SoCal, if you got anything, Commish, Jay Jones, if anybody want to request up. Do we think that the Brewers
given up an earned run in 5 straight starts?
Yeah, it's been 34 innings, 34 and 1/3 innings pitch, prop. So I'm looking at that 1.5, and I'm like, man, like, it ain't even juice to the under. I thought, even if they had it at 1.5, it'd be like minus 140. So money will come in on it, it'll drop to like minus 150. But the books, it still feel like he don't get the respect that he deserved. Maybe the Brewers do score today. What you thinking on that, bro?
So I'm looking at, I heard you say the Brewers were good against righties. For the season, they were good, but as far as the recent trend, they haven't been. So season-wise, they're 7th best in the majors against right-handed pitching as far as runs created plus at a 109. Over the last 30, that's dropped down to 92. On-base percentage dropped down to 5th best at a 321 to 23rd worst at a 298 over the last 30. So, when capping these games, it's all about the recent trends, and we can only go based on what these teams are doing. And Zach Gallen's current form is much better than the Milwaukee Brewers, you know what I mean? So, I like the first 5 under, or if you want to go with earned runs under 1.5, that's plus 120, you know what I mean? So, if you do the first 5, it's a little bit safer because he probably goes 7 innings. What you could look at is 18.5 pitching outs as well, since the Brewers are not causing much traffic on the base paths. So that's a look as well. But under 1.5 in the first 5 is probably a little bit safer than the earned runs full game, because he could go 7 and give up 2 runs, and that's still a great outing. You know what I mean? So I think the first 5 under will probably be a little safer. Then I would look at his pitching outs as well. 18.5, he's covered in the last 4 out of 5, and then 6 out of 10. So, and all the numbers you look for when taking the outs number is kind of great. Ground ball, fly ball rate, the Brewers 23rd worst. And like I said, the on-base percentage and runs created plus. So not a lot of traffic, so not really working the count either. So, they got a 9% walk rate, which is pretty good. But I like them to pitch 7 innings. So you can give me Zach Gallen everything today.
I like it, bro. I appreciate those numbers, bro. You did a lot of digging, and that's why we do the show, right? Because you cap the games different than I do. You're looking at different resources than I am, but when we come together and we align, I love it, bro. I love it. Appreciate you sharing all that. One thing I see SoCal and Jay Jones. I'm gonna get to y'all, but one thing I looked at while you was talking about the Brewers struggling against righties, I just pulled up the Brewers against righties in their away games since August 1st. So we just looking at the last month and couple days. Of course, they're 1-9 straight up in this spot. 1-9. The only win that they had came against the Cardinals with Wainwright on the mound against Corbin Burns. They won 3-2. but they lost 3 to the Pirates. They lost 1 to the Cardinals, 2 to the Cubs, 1 to the Dodgers, and they've already lost twice to the Diamondbacks in this same exact spot. And now we get Zach on the mound. I actually like this a lot. And these lines are crazy because I see a couple. I mean, when Corbin Burns lost against Bryce Wilson, they were a minus 280. When Peralta lost to Tyler B, they were a minus 210. When they lost to Zach Thomas, they were minus 270. So the minus 175, I'm sorry, the for them to be I see the line at a 135 today, so they actually not favored today, but they've been giving it up a lot in this spot prop. That makes me like the Diamondbacks a lot. I'm just scared of the bullpen, but let me
Did you expect them to do Burns like that yesterday?
Nah, I didn't, but I mean, it don't really surprise me a lot because I feel like Burns he hasn't pitched.
His last 4 has been pretty rough.
Yeah, like they've been bad, and one thing I always fade is I'm not looking at these teams on these minus 300 lines, right? Like a lot of the times I'm SDQL in that, right? Like how well this pitcher does when the line is, this big. I actually looked at that for free, and I want to get to that game today because they got a pretty big line against I think it was a minus 205. I think it opened that against Pablo Lopez in the Marlins. So I'm looking at that prop. I'll never trust Burns when the line is minus 280. I don't know when I'm gonna trust him again just because the books give him so much respect and he hasn't pitched well in this spot. So appreciate you, prop, for sure, bro. Jay, let me come to you, and then Soka, I want to get to you. What's up, Jay?
Yeah, so another thing that if you just look at, I heard you mention the Brewers versus right-handed pitching on the road. So this is a 300 at-bat sample size. They're only batting 207 in these spots and have a WRC plus of 78. So that's even worse than the last 30 days, just straight up. So like you said, they aren't performing well on the road in these spots versus right-handed pitching. I mean, also I heard you guys mention Burns. Arizona versus right-handed pitching has just been dominant, very dominant, only striking out around 14% of the time, bro. So I kind of wasn't expecting Burns to do anything yesterday. So that's what I wanted to touch on. But I definitely like Gallen in this spot today. Just been a really, really, really good pitcher last 5, 6, 7, 8 games, whatever you want to call it. But really like him today.
Yeah.
But I do gotta say, like, 5 games that he hasn't given up an earned run? That's what you guys said?
Yeah, I think it's been 5 in a row.
Yeah, so like when that stuff starts happening, that kind of does scare me. Because then you're just due. You know what I mean? You're due to give up some runs. So it is Sunday, so just be careful.
Yeah, you're right. I'm glad you mentioned that, Jay, because I actually forgot about that. It is Sunday, so the crazy stuff do happen, man. Zach has given up runs before. just in case people, don't know. He has been touched up a couple games throughout the year. He just pitching that, probably the best part of his career right now. So yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Jay. Soka, I want to come to you. What's up, bro?
Hey, what's up? So yeah, I also pulled up like their month to month so far this season, and it's just like you said, they started overall on the year. They've been pretty good against right-handed pitching on the road. If I look at since the start of the year, they're 22 and 25. They've never really been over 50% in this spot against the righty on the road. 22-25 over the course of the season. You take away April, and then since May, they dropped down to 41.5%. Since June, they dropped down to 32%. Since July, they dropped down to 26%. And then since August, they're only 10%, 1-9. I think you had that up on your screen. I saw earlier. And they're 0-10 on the run line, given that the majority of those times they've been road favorites. As a dog, they're 0-2 in the same spot. What interests me about this game is just because of how good Zach Gallen has been doing, and if I were to ignore the wackiness of Sundays, the Brewers have been losing by an average of 2.3 runs in this spot. I do think negative 155 to negative 165 is a bit too pricey to take the money line. here backing Zach Gallen. I do like the full game -1.5 run line at +135. I see you can, if you're in Vegas, you can probably get them around. Looks like it's about +135 as well across the board. So I thought I saw 140 earlier. I might have been looking at the wrong game, but yeah, I'd rather take them at the full game run line rather than the money line in this spot at this price.
Yeah, I'm with you, SoCal. You made a lot of great points. I had pulled this up, but I hadn't really paid attention to what you were saying. You're right. 0-10 on the run line. I talked about 1-9 straight up, but yeah, you're right. Like and they've been favorite in every one of them, like you said, except 2. So love that spot. Love that spot a lot. Taking them on the run line today, just because of how hot their bats have been against righties and backing Zach in this spot for sure. Joey, let me kick it to you. What's up, Joey? How you doing, bro?
Hey, what's going on, Chris? How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, bro. How you feeling?
What's going on, Prop? Hey, I'm doing great, man. My bad. It took me a while to come up here. I was at the gym, a little noisy. I know y'all been chopping up this one for a little bit, so I didn't want to interrupt. And I know you were saying you were trying to get on for an hour. Whenever you guys are done with this one, there was one that would bounce too quick. Could break it down real quick. Wanted to pick y'all brains on it.
Hey, the floor is yours, Joey. Go for it.
All right, man. Appreciate that. So the game that I was actually looking at was Texas and Boston. We got Dane Dunning versus Josh Winchowski, Mike Wazowski, whatever you want to call him. And the way that I was seeing it was you got Texas versus right-handed pitching right now in the last couple of weeks. I got them at third with a WRC of 127. And they even got held down scoreless for 7 innings yesterday versus Bello. And then I look at Boston versus right-handed pitching. They're fourth. They're right behind the Rangers with a WRC of 126. You got Winchowski with a 5.83 ERA on the season. He hasn't pitched. It's been a couple weeks. I'm not entirely sure what happened. I wasn't really following this timeline. His ERA at home is a 7. You got Dane Dunning on the road. That was a spot that me and Ski, the guys in the green room, that was a spot where we were looking to fade him just because he's 0-5 on the road. And his ERA on the road is a 5.25. At home is where you want him. I'm just looking at these two teams and the way that they hit right-handed pitching. And I see you got Dane Dunning on the road, which is his bad spot. And you got Winchowski at home, which is his bad spot if he ever even has a good spot for him. But that's the way I was looking at this one. I said I got 2 pitchers and spots where I'd like to fade them, and I've got Texas at third, Boston at fourth for his right-handed pitching, and their respective spots. So I was just looking to play that first 5 over 5.5. I know 5.5 is a lot in the first 5, but if I look at it from the other side, and I'm like, oh well, let me play under if it's so much, I wouldn't feel comfortable with this. I feel like 5.5 is accurate. I think each team can score a few. I was just wondering what anyone else thought on this game.
So one thing that came to mind, and I see Jeff requesting up right now. Let me get Jeff back up. Jeff was in the chat saying Cutter Crawford was going tonight instead of Winkowski, but I actually see confirmed lineups. It is however you pronounce his name, like you said, Joey. It is Winkowski. It's conflicting because I'm getting stuff for both of the pitchers, but I did see that I think Cutter Crawford got put on the IL. Is that right?
Yeah, he did. He got put on the 15-day IL. It's Winkowski today.
That's what it was. Okay, that came out an hour ago from Underdog MLB. So it is so it is Winkowski in this spot. So you're right, Joey. I actually didn't cap this one at all, Joey. So I have nothing. Prop, Commish, Jay Jones, SoCal. If y'all got anything, Jeff, y'all can definitely feel free to chime in.
Hey, Chris. Yeah, so if you try to pull this game up on either Killer Sports or Give Me the Dog, it probably won't come up because their databases hasn't populated for the Boston starting pitching. Probably just because of what you just mentioned, the conflict. I do have 2 spots on this game. I was actually hoping you touched upon it earlier as well. I have Dane Dunning on the road against right-handed pitching since September 20th, 2020. The Rangers are 0-20 in this spot, or Dane Dunning is 0-20 in this spot. So it's a good spot for the Red Sox trend-wise. And this other trend I have is on the over. I think I actually shared this one with you back on the 2nd 2 days ago. You probably will remember it's the Red Sox as home favorites versus the team that they won against, and the other team has a win percentage of over 41%. And the over hit 2 days ago. That was Nick Pivetta versus Dallas Keuchel. The over hit, and it's active again. It's 16-2 to the over in this spot on the same trend.
Hey, that's amazing. That's amazing that you felt that, SoCal. I looked at it the Dane Dunning one that you just talked about, his away spots versus starting right-handed pitchers. Just this season, I see him as 0-11. So really, really good spot for to back Boston right here for sure. Appreciate you sharing that, SoCal. Let me come to Jeff real quick. Then I want to get to you too as well, Commish. What's up, Jeff? Jeff, if you can hear me, the floor is yours, bro. If not, I'll kick it to you, Commish. Oh, there you go, Jeff.
My bad.
You good? You good?
My bad. So I found two trends. I like Boston tonight. And the two big ones I found were looking at Boston in the last game of the series and looking at Boston outside the division. Excuse me, more specifically at the AL West. They're 18-36 against the AL East, but they're 24-8 against the AL West this year. And they got some pretty impressive stats to end out a series. Boston's 11-1 in the last game of the series versus a non-division opponent since May 15th, with a line between -155 and +130. So, a game that's not a blowout on either side. They've won 11 out of 12. And the other thing I'll throw in with Dane Dunning, too, is not only is he bad on the road, he's also bad during the day, too. Team's just 2-7 in his 9 starts, and he's got a 4.73 ERA, too. So even more of the reason to fade Dane Dunning.
Yeah, I see that right now, Jeff. I think I might hop on there with y'all. Those are really, really strong trends. Whenever I see something 2-7 and something else that's 0-11, I'm probably gonna be looking at Boston in this spot as well. Appreciate you sharing that, SoCal. Appreciate your insight as well, Jeff. Let me kick it to Commish. What's up, Commish?
Couple of things. One, the Dane Dunning stuff, great as always. I've never seen a pitcher have such stark home and away splits. Dane Dunning is a borderline all-star when he's pitching at home, and then he gets on the road, and I don't know if he has travel anxiety or what the issue is, if he's just not comfortable on mounds, or I don't know what the issue is. That kind of stuff is very real and valid, right? To have travel anxiety or to be away from your family and not be able to manage that effectively. The dude is atrocious on the road. So anyone that wants to fade Texas when Dunning's pitching away from Globe Life, I'm totally on board. I wanted to mention Pablo Lopez just got dropped to over under 4.5 strikeouts at quite a few books. It's -155 is Caesars. Pablo Lopez has never had fewer than 5 strikeouts in a game on the road this season. So that's a 100% hit rate, obviously. He's 20 for 26 on this number overall, which is a 76.9% hit rate. The implied odds on a -155 line translate to 60.8%, meaning that there's a 15.9% discrepancy between the implied odds on the line and his hit rate for the season. The Braves have nobody in the lineup today that is K-averse, meaning every single guy in the lineup is a target. Pablo Lopez is not a guy who's frequently going to get into 8, 9, 10 strikeouts. He almost always lands on 5 or 6, or 4, 5, or 6 around there. I'm a big proponent. We did this yesterday with Edward Cabrera. It was that right on that line. I typically don't play past -150 juice, but I laddered it to get the line under -150. So I took 5 over 4.5 at -154 yesterday with Cabrera. Then 6+ was +140, and then 7+ was +285, and all of those cashed. So obviously, yeah, we paid a little bit of juice on the over 4.5, but he went over that number. So ended up being a very profitable play, and would have felt like a moron if I would have not played that simply based on principle. There are some lines that are just so mispriced that you have to pull the trigger And if you are uncomfortable with the juice, then you can ladder it to whatever you feel comfortable risking. In this spot, Lopez, again, very favorable matchup against the Braves, who've been K'ing a ton. It's a day game. We talk about it all the time. Hitters not having batting practice, they get to the field maybe a little bit later than they would normally if the game was a 7 p.m. start time. Also, a pretty favorable umpire behind the plate today in that game with Junior Valentine calling balls and strikes between the Marlins and the Braves. 22.1 K percentage lifetime. This is also a good spot for Pablo Lopez from an analytical perspective if you're just completely ignoring trends. Lopez, his pitch repertoire is far different against righties than it is against lefties. Against lefties, he's almost 50% fastball, and then he only really has that changeup that he throws 37% of the time. And we've talked about this before on Chris's spaces of if you only have 2 pitches to get guys out, you're not going to be able to get strikeouts, and it's going to be difficult to even get out the second and third time to the lineup. And we've seen that reflected in Pablo Lopez's splits. Against lefties, he has a 457 FIP, K percentage below 20%. Walk percentage is higher than it is against righties. Whip is higher against lefties than it is against righties. But against right-handed batters, he has a pretty filthy changeup, solid fastball with dramatically increased usage, only about 30%. And then he has a sinker cutter combo that he can also go to, which is pretty effective. This 4-pitch mix against righties has proved very effective for him this season and in previous seasons. This year against righties, his FIP is 286, so almost 2 full runs lower than it is against lefties. His K percentage is almost 30%. It's 9% higher against righties than it is against lefties. Walk percentage is lower against righties. Base runners allowed lower against righties than it is against lefties. This holds true on the road as well. If you're a big home and away guy, against lefties on the road, 445 FIP, 20% K rate. On the road against righties, 312 FIP, 29.7 K percentage. The Braves have 6 righties in the lineup today. Even the 3 lefties that are in the lineup, Matt Olson, Michael Harris Jr., and Eddie Rosario, all 3 of them have worse than league average strikeout rates against right-handed pitching. If Pablo Lopez simply Ks the guys that he's supposed to in this lineup, so I'm looking at like the Marcelo Ozunas, the Dansby Swansons, so you can look at last 30 days. So this is more from an analytical perspective as well. Last 30 days, Marcelo Ozuna is striking out almost 40% of the time against righties. Rosario over 30% of the time. Swanson almost 30% of the time. d'Arnaud almost 30% of the time. Acuna and Austin Riley both 23% or higher. If you go to the full season, there's not a single guy in this lineup today that has lower than a 22.7 K percentage against right-handed pitching, except for Vaughn Grisham, but he only has 69 plate appearances against righties this year. So every single guy in the lineup today is a potential target for a strikeout. Of course, Lopez isn't going to strike them all out. He doesn't need to strike them all out. 4.5 is a very, very gettable line. Analytically speaking, from a trends perspective, if you want to throw in the fact that there's a favorable home umpire, a favorable, a K-friendly umpire in this matchup, that only adds to this being a really great spot to grab this number. I wouldn't ladder above 6. 6 is plus 112, but and you have to get it at different books. You get over 4.5 at Caesars, and then you have to go to FanDuel over 5.5 to get that plus 112. But I really don't know how you don't play this today. The only real concern I have is that the Marlins have been a little bit delicate with Pablo Lopez's pitch count as he's gotten later into the season, especially as the Marlins have fallen out of the race. But this is just a must play in my mind. I really don't see much of any justification for playing the under. If he goes under 5 strikeouts, it's either because he got shelled, which is a real possibility against a dangerous Atlanta lineup, or it'll just be an outlier in the data, which is totally possible. There's no such thing as a lock when you're betting on human beings, betting on sports, but there is an overwhelming amount of data that is pointing to Pablo Lopez over 4.5 strikeouts in this one.
Yeah, I like that too, Commissioner. And I don't cap the props at all, the K props, but I am seeing that the Blue Jays, not the Blue Jays, the Braves against righties just over the last 4 games are striking out 10.8 times. So that's some data that supports that as well. I also got the Braves striking out 9.63 in their away games. I'm sorry, in their home games against righties. So like that a lot, Commish. Appreciate you sharing that. SoCal, let's come to you, and then I want to kick it to prop.
Hey, just real quick, this one's for Commish. You mentioned that you can't think of anyone else off the top of your head with a home-away split similar to Dane Dunning. I like to propose Zach Greinke this year, 1.98 ERA at home, 633 on the road.
That's a fact. Greinke's been, it's like he a whole different picture. It's like young Greinke versus old Greinke. That's a fact. What's up, Prop? What you got?
Are we going over the Dodger game?
Yeah, let's go to the Dodger game.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, let's go to that. That's the only other game I wanted to talk about. But while we on the Marlins and the Braves game, Prop, you got anything on that game? I know Kamish kind of talked about, he kind of bought the game up, so I figured we might as well stay here. We get Pablo Lopez against Max Fried. We kind of talked about that already. Looking back to last night it was a low scoring game and the Braves barely pulled that one out. Bryce Elder versus Edward Cabrera on the mound for the Marlins. And I know Kamish cashed on Cabrera's strikeouts. I think it was yesterday too. Yeah.
I didn't catch the initial line that Kamish called. I had 5Ks parlay with Mookie Betts to get a hit. So Mookie cashed that in the first inning.
Yeah, for sure. So we get the Braves. They've been winning, actually covering the run line, except last night. Well, 2-2 in the last 4. They haven't been scoring a ton of runs against righties recently. I got them. I mean, they got to Sandy, which is threw me off, and I actually lost that bet because I was on the under for 3.5 for the first 5 on Friday night. But yeah, just 2 runs yesterday, 3 runs against the Rockies. And when Chad, how you pronounce his name? Colin?
It's just cool.
Cole.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, against him the other day, only scored 3 runs, and then Ryan Feltner as well. They only got 3 runs off him too. So interesting spot. I know we talked a lot about Pablo Lopez kind of regressing, just him not pitching as well and not getting as much run support as he was early on in the season. I got Pablo Lopez at a 3.7 ERA for the season, but in his away spots, it actually drops down to a 3.08. In his day games, he's been a lot worse though. 3-5 straight up, 6.05 ERA, allowing 3.5 runs in his day games, but only 2.08 in his away games. So definitely some conflicting trends there, conflicting stats there. On the opposite side, we get Max Fried at the crib. He's 17-8 overall with a 2.56 ERA. In his home start specifically, he's 10-5 with a 2.55 ERA. So very very similar there. He's lasting about 6 1/3 and pitched in his home games, allowing 1.73 runs in this spot. Whip is good, below 1. I got him at 0.8 over the last 3 games, 1.18 at home. He is not getting a lot of run support, so I got him over the last 3 at 3.67. Just in his home starts in general, 3.2. So he is 11-4 to the under in this spot as well. And then Pablo Lopez in his away starts is 6-7 to the 7-6 to the under as well. So a lot of conflicting stuff there. I was actually trying to get on the Braves for the full game, of course, on the run line, which is the only way you could possibly take it. You don't want to lay the juice in this one, but I don't think I found enough stuff to actually get me there. And I had a bunch of conflicting trends about the total. We talked about Max Fried not getting the most run support at home, which is why those totals typically go under. So what I want to pull in real quick, if you're on the YouTube link, is I'm gonna just look at Max Fried in his home starts. We can see that in the first 5, he's only getting 1.87 runs, so less than 2 runs in 15 home starts, and the team is only averaging 3.2 runs. Right. The over under for the full game is 11. He's 11-4 to the over under for the full game. In the first 5, it's the same thing, 11-4 as well. And we know that the Marlins don't score, right? The Marlins typically don't score. So if we look at the Marlins, I want to look at the Marlins against, and I'm just kind of going through this one live. I want to look at the Marlins against Fried is a left-handed pitcher. And that's actually why I wrote this down, because the Marlins struggle against lefties a lot. So the Marlins against left-handed pitching.
Struggle ain't the word.
I know, yeah, you're right, bro. So the Marlins against left-handed pitching, And let's just look at them on the road, and let's look at them recently too. So let's pull in like a date of just like the last month. Let's see what kind of sample size we get. And away and date is greater than opponent started those left, and away date greater than. Maybe they don't even have one. Let's see. 0701. Team equal Marlins and opponent starter throws left. Left-handed pitcher and away and date is greater than. And what did I type in wrong? I know that this number is really, really low. Matter of fact, if you go down here on SpoDevs, if you're following, we get the Nationals hitting. The Marlins hitting 182 against left-handed pitching over the last 5 games, averaging 3.2 runs. And at home over the course of the season, they're still not hitting 200 against left-handed pitching, only averaging 2.5 runs. So 198 batting average, 2.5 runs in this spot specifically. I'm trying to figure out what I typed in wrong over here, but even though I don't see anything, and yeah, I don't know why this query isn't coming up. But do you guys have any thoughts? I know. Shout out to somebody DM'd me earlier and said they were taking the Marlins team total under 3. I think it was at 3, like right on the dot. So I'm interested to hear. Prop, you got anything? Commish, Jay Jones, SoCal, you guys got anything on how you want to attack the Marlins not being able to hit lefties? Go ahead, Commish. Take it away.
My bad. Commish, my bad.
You can go next, Prop.
I'm not going to take too much time. The Marlins are running out minor league lineups right now, and I mean that so seriously. Like, you look at their lineup today, they don't even have Joey Wendell in the lineup today. So Brian Anderson, Joey Wendell is in the lineup. He's batting 6th. My fault, but it's against a lefty. Wendell struggles a lot more against lefties than he does righties. There's nobody in this lineup that would start for the top 20 teams in Major League Baseball. So, I mean, if you're a team totals kind of person, it's not my market that I love to attack on a daily basis, but if you're a team totals kind of guy, the Marlins, it's not fair to say they're not trying. They are. They're trying to win baseball games, but this lineup is just so ineffectual. You're facing a guy who is one of the top 3 favorites to win the NL Cy Young right now. I mean, my God, the Marlins just stand no chance. I'm sorry. I like the under in this game. Like, I know Chris, you said the trends are, a little bit of a mixed bag, but Lopez is much better against righties than he is against lefties, which we talked about, and has got 6 righties in the Atlanta lineup today. And then you have Fried, a Cy Young candidate, against this Miami Marlins lineup. 7 runs could be hard to come by. If it goes over, I think Atlanta gets 5 by themselves, minimum.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And that's the only thing that kind of scares me. That scares me just a tad bit on that, Commish. But let me kick it to Prop. What you got on that, Prop?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much said it. The Marlins have been the worst team against left-handed pitching. I mean, they're ranked 30th out of 30 teams in almost every statistic versus lefties. I mean, K percentage, on base percentage. The runs created plus, they do absolutely nothing against lefties, and that was with the regular lineup. And as Commish said, it's even worse today. So I tried. I looked at the first 5 minus the 0.5. It did kind of worry me a bit, like as you said with Lopez. But I do think the Braves should get 1 to 2 off him in the first 5. The last time he faced them, I took the Braves' first 5 team total. It was at 1.5, and they did not cash. They had 1 run. They got the second run and the 6th, but the Marlins ended up winning that first 5. But that was with Odorizzi on the mound. So
I looked at that too, Prop. Yep, I saw that too.
Yeah, I mean, I see Fried holding Miami scoreless through 5, maybe 1 run if it's a home run. Anything can happen as far as that. I do think Atlanta can win this first 5. The minus the 0.5 is a minus 140 on DK. I didn't line shop yet, but that's still playable. I looked at Fried 5 strikeouts in the win. It's minus 145. His strikeouts has kind of been iffy for me as of late. But I like Ronald Acuna in this spot. I know you don't do props, but he's had success against Lopez. I think he's batting over 300 career-wise. Let me just fact check that for you real quick. So Acuna versus Lopez. Where is he? Here we go. Yeah, he's got a career 333 average, 5 singles, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. And he's hitting over 270 against righties. So I do like that. Acuna to get a hit parlay with the Braves money line is -105. So I think that's good value there. And Acuna's had a hit in his last 7 out of 10 games too. So I think with a familiar foe that he's had success against, with him batting leadoff as well. If he's still batting, yeah, he'll get the most plate attempts. You know what I mean? So plenty of opportunity for him to get that hit. So I would take that. I actually might lock that in. Acuna to get a hit with the Braves money line -105. I like that. But I think it's Atlanta spot, and I won't be mad at the first 5 either.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot too, bro. It just feels like how much run support. Like which Lopez is we gonna get? We're gonna get the Lopez that's gonna give up 3 runs in the first 5, or we're gonna get the Lopez that could limit Atlanta, come out here and sleepwalk through this game too. I'm interested to see how Atlanta does on Sundays. I need to pull that trend in real quick. But yeah, I like your looks a lot, prop. And like you said, I don't cap a lot of player props and as far as hits and stuff like that. But anything that you compare with Atlanta, money line to reduce some of that juice, that's favorable. I like that a lot. Let me kick it to you, Jay. What's up, Jay?
Yeah, so for me in this spot, I absolutely love Freed to get 4Ks in the Braves on the first half result. You get that at -118 on FanDuel. Pretty much, I mean, just like you guys mentioned, Miami's just been absolutely horrible against left-handed pitching. They rank first in last, pretty much in all statistics of them versus lefty. They have the number 1 strikeout rate versus lefties, worst WRC plus versus lefties. Just absolutely horrible. You look at Freed strikeouts to get 4 of them. He's covered this in 24 out of 25 games. He's covered it in 14 out of 15 games. Last game he didn't cover was against Colorado. He finished with 3, which I mean is understandable, I guess. So I do like Freed to get 4Ks here. And then I also like the Braves in the first 5. Like I mentioned, Braves, I mean, they've been amazing at home in the first 5. I want to say they're like 41-20 in the first 5 at home, 41-20-10. So I'll take my chances there against this Miami team with, like Commish said, a minor league lineup. I think Braves are going to get to Pablo today. He just faced these guys. I mean, he did only give up 1 run, or whatever in that first 5, but that was him at home. I just don't really see him doing that again today with the Braves at home. Riley's hot. Acuna's going to start heating up. Harris is hot. That Braves lineup is just hot right now. So I'll take my chances here, and you're getting pretty good value.
Yeah, I like that. I can see that definitely for sure, as well, Jay. I like that look a lot. I think, yeah, we got to figure out a way to attack the Marlins. Like Commish said,
I found it, Chris.
What is it, prop? Go ahead.
I found the stat that we need to give us this first 5. Listen, this is a day game, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they play in like an hour and a half. Pablo Lopez's worst numbers are in day games. He's 0-4, 6.05 ERA. 41 innings pitched, 28 earned runs. Opponents are batting .276 against him with a 1.51 whip in day games. Braves first 5, Braves everything.
I like that, bro. That's what I was looking for. That's what I wanted. I wanted to get on the Braves for the first 5. Let's see. I want to look at so bullpen wise, the Braves had a better bullpen over the season in this spot. They have the better bullpen over the last 5 in this spot. And I think what Commish mentioned was extremely important too, right? Like the Marlins at this point aren't even trying anymore, right? Like they're not even trying. So not having a full lineup, competitive lineup out there is extremely unbeneficial for them, and beneficial for us wanting to back the Braves today. So yeah, I like that look a lot. Real quick before I come to you, SoCal, the other thing I wanted to look at was the Marlins in this spot, like you guys talked about from your perspective. From my perspective, I'm looking at the Marlins against left-handed pitching in away spots, averaging 1.75 runs. So I actually do love, because the Atlanta Braves bullpen isn't is pretty decent, except when Jansen gets rocked like he did last week and gives up so many runs, and they end up losing that game. Because of that, in all seriousness, I actually like the Marlins team total under. I haven't played it yet, but that's something I'm probably gonna end up locking in too. And I don't know if it's gonna be a first five or a full game, but I'm probably gonna end up playing that as well. SoCal, I'm gonna kick it to you.
Hey, so that was actually a pretty good stat or a pretty good look for early games with Pablo Lopez. In his career, the Marlins are only 3-12 straight up when they have a start time before 2 p.m. Eastern. 1-2 this season. As in terms of run support, first five, 1.33 runs versus 2.6 allowed. Full game, 2.6 versus 5 allowed. As a dog, the Marlins are 1-8 straight up, only scoring 1 in the first 5, allowing 2.67 in the first 5. And on the road, they are 1-4. In his career in these early starts, 1.2 first 5, 2 full game. It's a really good look, and I'm looking at their team total right now. Miami 2.5. It might be close, but I think it's pretty good given it looks like it's only negative 120 juice to the under.
Yeah, I like that look a lot. I'm probably gonna ride with you on that prop. Probably definitely gonna ride with you on that one. And I know we got.
I think the line shopping as well. The best line is on FanDuel for the first 5 run line. It's minus 134.
Minus 134. So ATL first 5 minus 134. Yeah, and I'm probably still gonna play that team total under for the Marlins too. I gotta check it and see where I can get the best line at and what it actually is. I'm pretty sure some juice is probably coming in on the under. But I trust Freed in this spot at home. I trust what Kamish said about the Marlins not that they're not trying, but they're not putting out a team that they're gonna be disappointed with if they don't end up scoring runs. So yeah, I like that. I like both of those looks a lot. Let's move on to the last game because I did say I was gonna be on here for an hour and we're on here for 1 hour and 30 already. Moving on though, we talked about this a little bit. Prop, I didn't cap this game, so it's gonna be live capping for me. Matter of fact, I'll kick it to you first, Prop. I know we want to talk about the Padres and the Dodgers. What you got on this game, Prop? How you looking at it? Take it away.
Man, for me, it's I see no chance of this guy, Mike Clevenger, striking out 5 Dodgers tonight. I don't know why it's at 4.5. They continue to put his line at 4.5. I took the under against. You know what was it? Yeah, it was under 4.5. I caught against Cleveland. Clevenger, he has a couple of these in 5 straight. The Dodgers, middle of the pack as far as K percentage versus righties, last 30 at 21.9%. But Clevenger, he isn't even averaging a K per inning. He's at 0.86. Bottom percentile in metrics as far as swing and strike percentage, chase rate, things like that. He doesn't have an out pitch. He had 3 against the Giants, 4 against the Guardians, 1 against the Marlins, and we know how horrific the Marlins are. 3 against the Nationals, and then he just faced the Dodgers. He had 3. But that was August 6th, so it's been a month. I don't think much changes. He gave up 5 earned runs in that one, and didn't even complete 5 innings. Across his last 5, he's went past the 5th inning once. So he's not even getting the length. The Dodgers are crushing righties. I'm saying on 130 runs created plus last 30, a 344 on base percentage, 2nd and 3rd in the majors respectively there. 9% walk rate, 4th best. And the ground ball fly ball rate is the 3rd best in the majors at a 0.76. I think Clevenger gets touched up today the same way kind of Manea did. And I just, no way I see this guy getting 5 strikeouts. And the line is playable at a minus 130. I don't get that line at all. So you can give me that under, definitely.
Just some support on that, Prop. I see in his 10 away games so far this season, I see his strikeouts at 3.90. So that's some more support for what you're saying. And I'm not big on strikeouts, but I like that look a lot, bro. We also know, and I don't even know how you guys track this, but we know that the Dodgers are one of the more play disciplined teams when it comes to just chasing bad balls and making sure that
you would look at what is it, Cappinn? You would look at the chase rate for the team, right? As far as the discipline, you would look at the walk rate as well.
So the teams that like the metrics that I look at with K props, and the only metrics that I look at are I will pull up a team. I look at the last 7 and the last 14, and I look for consistency in these metrics. K percentage, O swing percentage, which is how often is a team swinging outside of the strike zone. O contact percentage, which is on balls outside of the strike zone. If they swing at them, what is their contact percentage? Z contact percentage is their contact percentage on balls inside the strike zone. So how often are they swinging at pitches? How often are they making contact at pitches that they're swinging at that are inside the strike zone? Contact percentage overall, which is a blend of O swing and Z swing percentage. Swinging strike percentage is essentially whiff percentage. So that encapsulates like chase rate, how often are you swinging and missing at pitches when you do offer at it. And then CSW percentage is called strikes plus whiffs. So how often are you taking called strikes plus how often are you swinging and missing at pitches? And what I have found is if you have a team that is really poor in these play discipline metrics, you have a pitcher that has high K potential opportunity, and then you have an umpire that is K friendly, the over hits way more than it doesn't. And conversely, if teams are really good in these play discipline metrics, and then you have a pitcher like Clevenger who's not a super high K rate guy, and then you have an umpire, which I haven't looked at for the Dodgers game, but I can pull it up in a minute. If you have an umpire that's K averse, meaning he doesn't call a lot of borderline pitches strikes, the under hits far more than it doesn't. So those are the metrics that I look at. Swinging strike percentage and CSW percentage are the two that are overwhelmingly important out of those, I think 5 or 6 that I mentioned to you guys, just because they do encapsulate some of the other ones. But if you see consistency in the data there, really good play. I'm also considering Clevenger under 4.5 for what it's worth.
Nice. Okay. Kick it back to you. Hey, appreciate all that, Commish. I'm probably going to run this back and listen to exactly what you said, so I know how to cap the strikeout props, because that's not something that I do. But kicking it back to you, Prop. What else?
Yeah, Commish. I was looking at StatFox, but it says no umpire available for the Dodgers game. I don't know if you got a different website or not. Let me know. But I'm locking it in regardless. I don't care who's behind the plate, to be honest, with this guy. But Chris, just a quick note on what we talked about yesterday. Remember I said to stay off of Tyler Molly because we didn't know what was over him as far as injury wise. He comes out and gets whacked, and he just got placed back on the 15-day IL just now.
Wow.
So he wasn't even healthy. That's
crazy, Prop. That was a gem that you shared too, because we talked about that, and I told you I was looking at the under, just kind of forgetting that Molly was just going to be his first game back. And you talking about, I mean, at some point we gotta think about the general manager and how we're managing, having our pitchers out there, whether we're trying to win or not. If they're not healthy, we don't want them out there. And we talked about him going 2 1/3 innings in his last game when he was never, he probably should have never did that in that game. So, yeah, Rob, that was a gem. And shout out to Dylan Cease. He I think he was one out away. I didn't watch the game last night, but I read the article this morning. 1 out away from pitching a no-hitter yesterday, before he ended up giving up a hit. So shout out to Dylan Cease too, man. The guy was on fire, and I'm actually kicking myself because we could have took them on the money line at a -140 yesterday, and made some easy cash. They won the game 13-0. So,
bro, they had his pitching out. I took that once we got off the show. I didn't even see it while we were on the show. At 17 and a half, for him to go 6 innings, he had 50 pitches through 5 minutes. That was one of the easiest bets I've ever had.
Gotta love it. Hey, Prop, that's why we keep doing MLB, even though it's football starting to pick up, right? Because money is money, no matter what you winning it on. So, yeah, and we get more and more data too, right? We get more and more data as the season goes on. So I'm gonna continue to stay with the MLB. I'm gonna get into some college football. Definitely go how the NFL shows, but MLB is not going anywhere for me for sure. Commission,
bro, we see, people like us, we do it all. There's no off season. It's a forever grind, but it's paying. You know what I'm saying? And it pays very good, bro, when you put the time in.
Yep.
So it's money in all these sports.
Exactly. Got you in LA right now for sure. Kamish. Kamish, I'm gonna kick it to you and then I'm gonna kick it to Jeff.
Yeah, Prop definitely deserves his flowers yesterday for telling everybody to stay away from Tyler Mahle. And again, hope everybody bet Dylan Cease plus 270 yesterday to win the Cy Young. He's plus 110 right now. Verlander is still not going to be back for at least a week, probably closer to 2 weeks, if not longer. I'd still bet him at plus 110. I really don't understand those odds. It's literally just him and JV left in that conversation, and Verlander is not even pitching right now. So as long as Cease doesn't have diarrhea when he goes out on the mound, he's going to improve his case every single time he goes out there. Wanted to circle back on the umpire for the Padres and the Dodgers. It's going to be Dan Merzel, which makes this a no play for me because Merzel has the highest K percentage of any umpire in all of baseball that is umpired at least 3 games behind home plate. So it's a no play for me. The dude expands the strike zone more than is responsible. I guess that's just the nicest way to say that. The other K prop that I was considering that's at 4.5, and I know this game is starting here relatively soon, is Giolito. He has some pretty bad righty-lefty splits. I mean, like some abysmal righty-lefty splits, which give me some pause here. And I think it's the reason that we're not seeing the line move, because he's hit this line 18 out of 24 starts this year. I think the main concern here is that the Twins get to him and they chase him out of the game before he gets deep into the afternoon. 4.5 though is a very gettable number for him. The Twins, the top of the order is extremely K-averse. I don't know if he gets any of the top 4 guys in the lineup to strike out today, but the bottom half of this lineup is ripe with opportunity with Garlick, Nick Gordon. Gary Sanchez is good for 2 usually when he's in the lineup, and then Celestino is also a pretty high K percentage guy. So there's 4 really easy targets right there. If he does happen to get Correa, Miranda, Kepler, or Urshela at least once, I think he's got a very good path to 5. The issue is that there's 6 righties in this lineup, and Giolito his K percentage against lefties is way higher than it is against righties. He's also just much more effective in general against lefties than he is against righties. So I'd be curious, Prop, Jay Jones, Jeff, anybody that caps the K prop market, if you guys have any thoughts on this one. That really no umpire concerns either. Pretty neutral guy behind the plate. So just would be curious anybody's thoughts.
Yeah, if anybody got anything, go for it. Go ahead, Jeff.
That's funny. That's literally what I had my hand raised up for. was going to go into that since you brought in that no hitter, and that was actually my only concern. That I'll toss it out to everybody else after, obviously, but how do you fare in a game after somebody like Cease throws a game like that? Because my first thought was, do they give him a potential early hook because they didn't have to use their bullpen yesterday, and they're not concerned about saving arms. But outside of that, I love this Giolito. This is what I was going to bring up to Prop 2. He only has 1 start against Minnesota this year, and it was back in April. He only went 4 innings, and he struck out 9 batters against Minnesota. If you look back, he faced them 3 times last year. If you combine those 4 starts, Giolito struck him out 29 times in 4 starts in 26 innings. And Minnesota actually hasn't been that bad against the strikeout. But you look at them at the last 10 on the road, they're striking out almost 10 times a game. They're the 6th worst. And Giolito's gone 5 or more innings in 6 of his last 7 starts. And the only start he didn't go 5 innings, he only went 3 innings against Houston, but he still covered this 4.5 strikeout mark. He struck out 5 Astros in 3 innings. So I like a lot of things about this Giolito.
Yeah, Jay, take it away, Jay. You anything you want to add?
Well, yeah, I mean, just with the White Sox being at home, Giolito, he performs better at home as far as his K props. He's covered this number in 9 out of 11 games. Also, has covered this number in 4 straight with 7, 7, 5, and 7. So, I mean, for me, I definitely think he can get there. I feel like it's a steal at the 4.5, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Jeff, and then I'm gonna kick it to you, bro.
I was just gonna say I've never given out a prop play as highly rated as I gave that one out today. I saw that Giolito at 4.5 and 29 strikeouts in 4 starts was unbelievable to me. And you're giving him at 4.5. Not to mention Dylan Bundy's at 4.5. I don't think that's as good of a value in the same game. But there's a lot of low strikeout totals out there tonight.
Okay. Yeah, you guys know it a lot more than I do. Kick it back to you, bro.
This is why I like shows like this are great, especially early. So I'm literally just capped this prop live. I mean, I can take you the process. It's not gonna be long. I think this is a great call out by Jeff. I think you just found me another play today, which I thank you for. So just looking at the recent trends, when you're looking at a K prop, you don't really want to look. I mean, you can look at, like how I said, Clevenger hasn't covered, right? And you want to look at the matchups that they have too. You know what I mean? So when I look at the matchup that Giolito has, he's got a line of 4.5, and so he needs 5 strikeouts, and he has 5 targets in his lineup. You expect him to go through the order at least twice. You know, at least twice. He should be able to get through 5 innings, maybe 6, depending on which Giolito we get. They'll usually let him go 6 as long as the pitch count doesn't go through the roof, right? So he's got 5 targets. And now, as Commish talked about his splits against righties, for the season-wise, it's at 21%. But if we go off the recent trend, Commish actually has improved it against righties over the last 30. He's at 26%, which I love. So it makes me feel a little bit better about the 4.5 number. So the targets will be Miranda, who is this? Garlic, Gordon, Sanchez, and Celestino. So I think he can get there. Just based on the targets alone, seeing those guys twice, say the first time through the order, through these 5 targets, we would need him. We're looking for him. Let's say he gets 3. Then the second time, he gets the other 2, or he gets a couple of these guys twice. You know what I mean? He probably can end with 6 strikeouts today. So I do like this 4.5. I think it is a little bit weird. And if it's a trap, then it just caught me because I'm in. I like the 4.5.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, bro. I think you guys all just laugh cap the hell out of that. That's dope, bro. That's what like you said, that's what we do the shows for. So you can kind of live cap it. While you guys were talking though, and I'm interested, I know a lot of you guys don't cap like totals and sides and stuff, but Jeff, I know you do a little bit of it all. Jeff, talk to me a little bit about, and I don't know if you had any thoughts on this at all or not. So I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but if you got anything, let me know. So with Bundy, right? We know he's a different pitcher at home than he is on the road, right? I see Bundy in his away starts. He's 4-10 straight up with a 5.66 ERA that jumps a whole, almost a whole point, a little over a point, in his away starts, right? He's also 8-2-4 to the over. And then Giolito in this spot, I think Jay Jones might have mentioned it. He's a little bit better at home, but he's still 4-7 with a 6.86 ERA, and he's 8-3 to the over in this spot, right? So one of the things, if you guys are on the YouTube link, one of the things I looked at was Giolito at home, 8-3 at home, 8-3 to the over. Bundy, like I said, 8-2-4 to the over, and these games are going way over. I'm looking at Bundy. 4.71 and 5. He's giving up 5.57 totally. Not just him, but the team in general. I don't trust either bullpen, even though I talk a little bit about that more. I see 9, almost 10 runs in Bundy's away games between both teams, and Giolito at home, I'm seeing over 12 runs. Right. So I'm looking at Wager Talk Live odds. It looks like the total in this one opened at let's see what I think I saw it opened at 8.5, and now it's down to 8. So one of the things while you guys were talking, what I went and looked at was, and you guys can see this, I'm on Ballpark Pal. I'm looking at the weather. It's supposed to be blowing to the east at about 9 miles per hour at first pitch. Humidity's 86%, which I don't really pay too much attention to all these different things, but that total in general, can anybody talk me off the over? Jeff, you got anything on that?
I would say normally, yeah, I'm 100% with you. I think Cease from yesterday throws a curveball into it because, like you said, I don't know how I feel about those bullpens, but I don't have any knowledge. I don't know if anybody can find anything that would prove anything, but I'm curious to see how a team bounces back after a pitching performance that Cease had yesterday, because that was my only concern with that K prop is, are you looking for the bullpen? Are you more willing to go to the bullpen because all the arms are so rested? So, I think it's hard to just say what any team would do, let alone a Chicago team does in a situation after they're 1 out away from a no-hitter. You forget about it, you play like it's a new day and it's a normal baseball game, or, does Minnesota come in with the mentality that, damn, it took us 26 outs to get a hit yesterday. I hope we can scrounge one together at some point today. And, I think this one's not an SDQL or a research thing. I think this one's more of a mentality and how they bounce back kind of aspect.
Right. Yeah. I think that's important to mention as well, Jeff. While you were mentioning that though, Jeff, I looked at the Twins when they've scored 0 runs. So in their previous game they scored less than 1, and they're actually 7-5 straight up. They're averaging 4.17 runs, so a little over 4 runs in the spot. But those games are going under. But it's typically
what's that say, 4 and 8?
Yeah, 4 and 8. 8 and 4 to the under. But if you look at the recent ones, Jeff, this is what I was looking at. They actually go so against Sonny Gray and Cole Reagan, that game just went under because they lost 2-1. But if you look at the last couple, they've actually been scoring 8-4. That was against the Tigers, of course. 6-0, and that was against the Rockies.
6-10-1. Wow, yeah.
Right. So they've been scoring in the recent ones anyway. I probably won't take it, but I wanted you guys' thoughts on that.
The one thing that catches my attention, because I am looking at you, I'm not a Nerfy guy at all. And look at those Nerfy numbers at the top. If you go back up to the top, it's
8-4
on that SPODEVs. Yeah, you're 8-4. Oh, I must be a second behind you on this video. 8-4. So, maybe that speaks to the mentality of Minnesota. I wonder if there's a way to quickly look who put up those runs in those first quarter or in those first innings. Because if it was Minnesota, then I would be all over if it's Minnesota bouncing back in the first inning and breaking 8 out of 12 Nerfies after getting shut out. Then that goes to show right there what kind of mentality they have bouncing back from a game like that.
Absolutely, Jeff. I have no idea how to do that, but I need to figure it out. I mean, I guess I could manually do it, but that feels like too much hard work. I got to look into that, Jeff. But that's a very, very interesting point.
Oh, wait, Chris, go up, scroll up to the top there, and do M1 is or previous, or M1 is less than 0, because that would mean that after the first inning, the margin is negative. So however many games give you a result will tell you how many they were. So none of those games they were losing after the first inning. They were either tied or winning because it's invalid.
Yep.
So 8-4 on the Nerfy, and every single one of those, they were either winning or tied after the first inning. So that means the 8 that went over, they were the one that scored unless they both scored. That would be the only other situation that would do it.
Okay. So I did type that in right, Jeff. That's right. Margin for the first one is equal. Can you see exactly how I typed it in?
Oh yeah. You might have to put a capital M.
That's what I thought. So yeah, the capital M. I did both just to make sure. The capital M came back the same
that means
thing.
that there's no results. So none of those games they had a negative margin after the first inning.
Gotcha.
So they were either winning or tied at the end of every single one of those games at the end of the first inning. So either a 1-1 Nerfy broke it, or it was them up something to nothing.
Got you. Okay. Appreciate that, Jeff. That's a real deep dive in a terrific take, I think.
And I will tell you for future reference, it would tell you. So like, what it was 8-4, so there were 12 games. So like, so just for the sake of argument, go change that less than 0, make it greater than 0.
It's still
like
invalid.
M1 greater than 0, because it'll show you the result. So if it says like 5-2, that doesn't mean okay. So maybe we messed something up. But I can look it up and I can send it to you later if you want, or how to do it. But it'll show you like 5-2. So the record doesn't really matter. But if you get results on those, then the 5-2 would add up to 7 games where they were above, the margin. So it wouldn't exactly tell you what the result was, but it would tell you how many of those games they were leading after the first. So that gives you something to at least use and dive into.
No, that makes sense, Jeff. Thank you. Yeah, please send it to me because anything I can add to my skill set, Jeff, I'm trying to do it, bro. So, and I know you know how to SDQ on everything, and your pops does too. So, yeah, definitely we can work behind the scenes. I can send you the StreamYard link, and we can get on if you got some time, and we can talk through some more things as well. I see DJ put in the chat that the Blue Jays turning up. I see they just got a single to score again. So that is 2-0 right now in the top of the third. Well, middle of the third now, because Brubaker just got a strikeout to end the third. But that's actually looking good. But I'm not gonna say anything else about it because I don't want to jinx it. But that's actually looking good. Jay, I want to come to you, and then Soka, I want to come to you before we kind of wrap up.
Yeah, you just said something, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna shut up because you said I'm not gonna jinx it, so I'm not about to jinx it. And I'll just say it after it cashes. I'm just gonna shut up. So never mind.
Yeah, so I figured I'd do the same thing. Because every time I talk about a play that's going well, it don't typically end up going that way for me. So I'm gonna just be quiet, bro. What's up, SoCal?
Chris, so I sent you a link on Twitter. It's for one of the tables I use to look at Nerfy stats. So earlier you guys mentioned Twins coming off of a shutout. And I see that there's been 12 such games so far this season. The Nerfy is 6-6. And of the 6 times where there was a run scored in the first inning, hold on real quick. Did I miscount? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so the Nerfy is actually 4-8 for the Twins coming off a shutout game. And of the 8 times where a run was scored, the Twins are responsible for 6 of those yes on the run first inning. And only 2 of them is where they allowed a run rather than scoring the run themselves.
Oh, I see that. I see it. I see what you're talking about. I just clicked on that link, so I appreciate that, bro.
Yep, no problem. So if you were to just build on that table, you can do a lot of things, look up a lot of different things.
Yeah, I gotta get this good. I gotta get this good. So I'm not this good. Yeah, bro. It's a lot in this court. I gotta get there, bro. I'm definitely interested in learning though. I kind of taught, shout out to Ronald. Ronald, put me on the SDQL stuff, but I taught myself a lot of it. And then if I had a question, I just, shoot him a quick message, and he, kind of walk me through it or answer my question for me for sure. So, yeah, shout out to you SDQL dudes, man. This stuff is extremely helpful, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. Is there anything else that anybody wanted to share real quick before we leave? Like any other game you guys wanted to touch on, any play you want to drop? I know a lot of these games are about to start here soon because we do have early baseball. But anything you guys got?
I locked in Giolito over 4.5. If you have bet MGM, you're getting the best odds. I want to say at minus 120. I only have access to like 4 books, so out of the 4 books I checked, minus 120 is the best book I got on that Giolito.
Okay. Appreciate you sharing that look. Definitely appreciate you sharing that look, Jay. Kamish, coming to you.
Yeah, I ended up doing the same thing with Giolito. I think I'm going to play the Twins money line in the first 5 as well because, as Jeff mentioned, he got to 5 Ks against the Astros, who absolutely beat the shit out of him. And the Twins, like Prop mentioned, the bottom of this order is just so gettable when it comes to strikeout. It's just hard to imagine that Giolito doesn't at least get to 4 in this spot. And I'm always of the mindset if I die on a K prop by a hook, and he's got an opportunity to get there, like I will live with that every day of the week. I don't see any path to less than 4 for him. I think he just needs 1 or 2 ambiguous strike calls to go his way to get to 5. I think he just needs to get like one of those guys at the top of the order once to be able to get to 5, whether it's Correa or Urshela or any of those guys in the top part of the order. So I'm on that. I think the Twins, I think the Twins can win this game regardless. But I do think, like, if you're on the Twins money line and they beat the crap out of Giolito, then at least you split that investment. But I do think there's a realistic path to both of those winning. There's really not any strong correlation between K props going over and that particular team winning the game. So I think I'm going to go both ways on that. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to another day of baseball. And I just dealt with a lot of injuries in college football yesterday that derailed the day. But baseball continues to stay strong. So when you mentioned like money is money, I'm still staying strong on baseball all the way through the end of October, and of course the NFL will pick up here in a minute. But yeah, make it you got to keep attacking these lines, especially if we're going to get softer spots now that everybody's attention is turned to college football and then the NFL here this coming week.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, Kamish, because like you said, there's so many lines that the books have to set. When you think about the NFL, when you think about all the different markets, when you think about college and how many teams and conferences there are, we should definitely get some softer lines for the MLB, and we have more data, right? The longer the season goes, the more data we have to be able to validate the points that we like, run the trends, look at the numbers. So I absolutely agree with you on that, Commission, and I think I know Prop talked about that as well. Appreciate you guys for coming through, man. I am gonna just for a recap, I talked about the Blue Jays minus the 1.5 for the full game. First 5 minus 0.5. I went with the first 5 just because I wanted the less juice. I didn't want to lay the minus 137, and I played the first 5 at a minus 122. The Orioles, I am going to take them on a full game, minus 1.5, just because of the bullpen, like we kind of talked about yesterday. I think Spencer Watkins it's a good bounce back spot for him, and I'm just taking the Orioles bats over the A's bats in this spot. Fada Martinez, who's given up 6 and 7 runs in his last 2 away starts. So yeah, I'm gonna play the Orioles, which I haven't put the Orioles ticket in yet, but I know the game's about to start, so I'm gonna put that one in. Orioles full game minus on the run line minus 1.5 for me. I'm also riding with Prop on the full game. I'm sorry, on the first 5 for Atlanta. I'm with you on that, Prop. I'm taking the Braves on the first 5 minus 0.5, and I might even sprinkle on the full game to have them cover on the run line. I just feel like they're a much better team. Commish mentioned the Marlins not really trouting out lineups to try to be successful, to be extremely successful. So I like that even more. And then the only other look that I had was Arizona back in Zach tonight. First 5 minus 0.5. That's not just back in Zach, but that's also the Diamondbacks being able to score. I talked about them winning 5 of their last 6, and I'm sorry, I talked about them when they're seeing right-handed pitching really well right now, winning 5 of their last 6 and scoring over 7 runs per game, hitting 280 in this spot, getting 6 off the Brewers yesterday with Burns out there, 5 off Woodruff, 12 off Nola the other night. So I like them to kind of keep it going as well. Those are the only things that I'm official on right now. Towards the end of the day, I don't want to. I think Prop is doing a good job of attacking that Dodgers game because I don't know anything about that pitcher that started for the Dodgers tonight. So yeah, I probably won't end up playing anything. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I love to get action in on the Dodgers game, especially because they got the late game tonight, the ESPN game, with Clevenger on the mound versus Ferguson. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I'm gonna kick it to Jay real quick. What's up, Jay?
I got a play that I put up top. It's pinned to my profile. It's a hit parlay. Just something I've been doing every single day on Twitter, just trying to interact with the community and give them something, to just to look at and give out some free plays. It's Goldie and Alec Bohm, both to record a hit. You're getting that at plus money there, plus 120, which is just crazy with the value you're getting there. Bohm is absolutely crushing lefties this season. And then another thing, he went hitless yesterday, and he hasn't gone hitless in back-to-back games since June 11th. Actually, June 10th. So I like him to, record a hit against a lefty today in Rodon. And then Goldie, he's just absolutely crushing Stroman. Batting over 400 against them. So absolutely love the look there as well. So I just wanted to give that out to the community. And then I was wondering if also if you talked about that Houston game, if you liked Houston in the first 5 on the money line today. I didn't know if you went over that. I kind of came in late.
Nah, I didn't talk about that, Jay. We can talk about it. I got a couple more minutes. I'm gonna go get something to eat afterwards. But nah, we can talk about it. We got Ukrady on the mound versus who is this Davidson guy? I don't even know who he is.
Yeah, I want to say Tucker Davidson is his name. I believe.
Okay. Yeah, let's. You got anything on it? You want to lead with it, or you want me to live cap it? I don't mind.
I'm backing Ukidi in this spot versus the Angels. Honestly, just based off of the fact that I want to say Houston only put up 1 run yesterday against Ohtani. He didn't get his Ks, but he was just being dominant like he pretty much has been against them his career. So I like them to bounce back today against this Davidson guy. And then you got Jose, who's just been absolutely amazing in the first 5. I want to say I can pull up his record really fast for you. In the first 5, he is 17-5-2. So only pushing twice in that first 5, only taking 5 losses. He got 17 wins. I like the Astros here in the first 5. I think they'll get it done today.
So you said you like Luke Ukrady in the first 5 in general or at home? Oh, never mind. I see what you're saying. Yeah. He got a real strong first 5 record. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I like this already. And I hadn't even capped this game. So they're in Los Angeles. They're in Anaheim, right?
Yes. Yep.
So this is in his away spot. He's 9-3-1 straight up. 9-2 on the first 5 run line. Winning that by an average of almost 1.5 runs. I like this, Jay. I might have to get behind you on this too. I got to look into it. It's a tad bit more, but yeah, I like this spot a lot, especially if the Angels going to continue to struggle to score. And I do think that this Tucker Davidson guy, he probably going to give it up. Let me see what I see on Mr. Tucker. So he 3-4 overall, 1-2 at home. ERA jumps up to 5.28 at home, allowing 2.67 runs at home. And
I think he came from Cincinnati, though, Chris. So some of those stats might be pre-trade deadline.
Oh, got you. Okay. So, matter of fact, let me go see his actual. I'm glad you mentioned that because I was definitely about to not go look at that. Let's see. Tucker Davidson game log. So he's pitched. So he was in Atlanta. Oh, that's where he was. I think I remember this. Okay. So he's pitched for the Angels in 4 games. Got lit up against the Mariners, gave up 6 in Seattle, gave up 2 to the Twins in 6 innings, gave up 2 to the Rays in 5 innings with 6 hits. And then last game, he actually pitched well against – oh, yeah, this was when Toronto was slumping last week. He pitched well against Toronto, went 4 innings, only gave up 3 hits and 1 run in that start. So he actually pitched well in this last game. He didn't pitch too bad against Tampa Bay either. I'm interested to see, Jay, real quick, how well – and I'll just kick it to you, Prop, real quick while I see – I'm interested to see how the Astros do, how they bounce back after they only score one run or 2 runs. So Prop, go ahead. Take it away.
Oh, it wasn't even. What game is this y'all talking about?
The
Astros Angels.
The Astros Angels game.
Oh, my bad, bro. I was gonna ask something about Carlos Rodon.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead, Prop. I'm still looking at this anyway.
Bet. This guy, he's not getting 8 strikeouts against the Phillies, man. Tell me I'm crazy.
You're crazy, Prop.
He's getting 8.
I'm just following directions, man. That's what you told me to do. We're down 8 against the Phillies. Let me pull this shit up really quick. That sounds nuts though. Like right off the bat.
Hey, while you do that, Commish, real quick, just to go back to what you were saying, Jay. So I'm looking at the Astros when they scored less than 2 runs. They're actually 13-6 on the first 5 run line, Jay. And 14-5 overall. They're scoring 2.68 runs. 2.68 runs in this spot, Jay. I like this. I like that look a lot. They're winning the first 5, 2.68 to 1.26. I'm trying to look and see if Uquady, he has been in this spot. He actually lost though against the Mariners. And he got a win against the Red Sox with Rich Hill on the mound. He got a win against Martin Perez last month against the Rangers 7-5. He got a loss against Dean Kramer 1-3. That was actually, I think that one was like a week and a half ago. So yeah, I do like this spot a lot. Peyton Tucker thinking that he'll come back down to average and the Astros going to bounce back after not scoring. I might get there with you on that one, Jay. I'm going to put that on my short list for sure. Appreciate you mentioning that, bro.
Not a problem. I just wanted to make sure you guys talked about it because that was one thing I was looking at today. Like, you get 2 profitable pitchers on the mound with Gallen, in the first 5 at least with Gallen and Urquidy on the mound. So I'm like, I'm definitely going to find some way to play both of these guys today. So just wanted to bring it up. Yeah,
I appreciate that, bro. Definitely. I'm going to look a little bit more into it. But, at first glance, it definitely looked like an Astros bounce back spot for sure. Kamish, on you, my guy.
Appreciate it. Yeah, probably. I'm not playing this. All of the matchup specific numbers point to not even just point. They scream under in this spot. But the big concern here is Gabe Morales is the home plate umpire this evening or this afternoon, and not many guys in baseball that are more K-friendly than him behind the plate. So I'm not going to be on it. But the Phillies against left-handed pitching have been, just like as low of a K target as it gets, the most sub 20%. Last 14 days against left-handed pitching. Against the last 30 days, they're barely north of 20%. That's just a hard number to get to against this team to get 8 strikeouts. He could pitch really, really well today and only end up as 7. So I'm not going to talk you off of the under. I just personally won't be on it because it doesn't meet my criteria. And anytime a guy like Morales is behind the plate, I just think you're taking on too much unnecessary risk for my taste.
Okay.
Yeah, out of the last 13 lefties they faced, only 2 of them got an 8. That was Free on July 25th, and then Lodolo had 8. Rodon had seen him, but it was back in June. He had 6. And then what kind of brought it to my attention is some books have it at 6.5, juice it over. So when I get that one K up, I kind of like it. I don't know. He pitched well that game. He only gave up 1 earned run. He only went 5 innings. As you know, his pitch count gets high. So, but the Phillies against lefties, number 1 in runs created plus and on base percentage last 30, a 153.
Yeah, it's a good look, bro. Like again, all the matchup data I think screams under in this spot because it's not just like will Rodon not strike guys out. The Phillies can chase him just by having a good day with the bats, right? So he could get the early performance. If he's inefficient against a Phillies team that is a little bit more patient at the plate, then he just might not have the necessary volume to get to 8. Because if you think about like Rodon, you mentioned, it's tough for a guy like him who sometimes doesn't even get into the 6th inning to get to 8 strikeouts. Because if you only get 15 outs in a game and you tell me that you got to get over 50% of those via the K, that's tough. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to play it with you, but if you're like, I would absolutely lean towards the under here.
Jay Jones, your mic sound like a robot. By the way.
Yeah.
I'm in Walmart, bro.
Oh man, Walmart has the worst service in the world
Ever, bro. Ever. Yeah, you know what? Like I don't want to, and I've already been over like a whole hour, so I'm gonna get off. But I think we definitely found some spots, man. Like I said, I'm on the Blue Jays looking good. They just got another home run. They're up 3-0. I'm putting the Orioles in. I'm backing the Orioles -1.5 in this spot. Just based on the bullpen, I think it's a pretty good. It's a fade of Martinez, like I said, if you join late. And I really like this Astros spot too. You guys talked me on to the Red Sox, which I haven't put that play in yet. But I think it was SoCal that found a really, really strong trend. I think Jeff did too. So yeah, I like that spot. I'm definitely riding with you, Prop, on Atlanta, the first 5.
Yo, we killed that line. I want to say because this mine is 160 now. I hope you got your ticket in.
No, I didn't get it in. I need you. Hey, Prop, I need you to DM me first, bro, because you be out here changing lines, man.
Man, I sent.
We got a retraction, man. Let Chris get the line back. Tweet the Marlins or something. And
Marlins +25.
Yeah. The other way I was looking at it too, though, Prop, is I think I'm gonna jump on that team total under. I'm gonna see what the juice is. First 5 a full game. If I can't play Atlanta first 5, on the money line with you. And then Jay mentioned a really good spot as well. I really like the Astros first 5 -0.5. So I'm probably gonna end up getting there on that one as well. And anything else that I end up liking, because like I said, I haven't capped the full card. I'll tweet it out, or I'll end up putting it in the chalkboard. If you guys look up top, Prop got a play in here that he posted up top. Jay does as well. But then if you scroll over, there's the free chalkboard community link with myself, and that's the books and Ronald Cappinn, UCapper. So you guys can join there for my plays as well. Jay, did you have your hand up one more time? Maybe not. And that's really all I got, man. I see VG just requested. Oh, I see VG just requested a VG. Can you talk, bro? What's going on, man? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, y'all, man. Much love to Prop, Jay Jones. I saw NBA Props down there somewhere, but it's been a while, man. I just want to shout out my love to y'all real quick. It's been a minute, but NBA's
bro. Yeah. You be back
NBA's around. Yeah, NBA's gonna be back. I've been laying low and playing privately. Probably send out a little SGP sometimes when I can. Some of them hit, some of the dope. But I got a quick one for y'all for the quick community.
Yeah, what's up? Talk about it. I saw you at the Mets game the other day too against the Yankees.
Against the Dodgers.
Against the Dodgers, yeah, my fault against the Dodgers. Y'all got the win too. I know that was sweet with the family, bro. I saw that.
Sweet, but God damn, it was hard to get home with all that traffic between U.S. Open and it was bad. But real quick, just to show y'all love, because I know y'all getting off. Just get y'all pens and pads ready. Little Mets and Nationals SGP real quick for y'all. So this is what I took. I took Joey Menendez for a hit, Luis Garcia for a hit, Lindor for a hit, Alonso for a hit. Then I took Carrasco over his strikeout line for 4.5. I feel he's gonna come back and have a strong outing today. I think he's gonna try to make a statement. Cookie's back. And then I took Eric Fedor for under 3.5. I took him under. I was looking at Professor's sheets for pitches today, and he was at a 3.9 average in his last 10. But the Mets strikeout percentage is 19.9%, so it's not looking too good for that. And I feel like the bats are gonna kind of wake up today. They had an embarrassing outing yesterday. That shit was some bullshit. We got to ask Matt yesterday, but
we ain't even gonna talk about that, BG. I was gonna say we ain't even gonna mention that. Me and Commish, we capped the game so perfectly too. We didn't think that the Nationals was gonna win, but we talked about just Scherzer lack of run support, man. And I didn't even take the under in the first 5. To see what happened after Scherzer got pulled, has to be defeating as well. So I do think it's a bounce back spot for sure in this one, BG.
Yeah, definitely bounce spot, and it's definitely a moment for them to start regrouping, because Atlanta's on their ass. But with that little parlay that I told y'all, I'm strictly a FanDuel player, and I got that at 15 plus 1574, 1,574. If you feel like throwing in the Mets run line or the Mets money line, I can't blame y'all. But I like that. I feel like it's strong today.
Word.
Yeah,
Okay.
once again, I love y'all, man. I miss y'all. Chris, when you come out here to New York, because I know you're doing a little tour next year for this season for the NBA. Let me know.
Absolutely. You already know, VG, and the space is about to go back up, bro. We about to get back into it, doing the shows more frequently like we did last year, for sure.
Yeah, and much love to Finesse too. I know he got a big statement, big announcement coming up. Just want to kind of throw that out there for the people in the community. It's gonna be big, so let's see.
Yes, sir. Finesse is I think he actually on vacation right now too, but yeah, he got the big announcement coming. I'm gonna be there for that as well. My guy, Finesse, for sure. Appreciate you guys for rocking with me. It's good to hear from you, VG. I appreciate you, Jay. Commish is always one of the smartest baseball guys I know for sure. Prop as well. Prop came in during basketball season last year, but baseball is his main sport. He's been cashing VIP, giving out free plays on Twitter, a bunch of different things. So shout out to Prop SoCal for helping me with the technical difficulties on the starting left-handed pitcher. Appreciate you. Same for Jeff. Jeff writes for Sports Memo. So these guys that are up here, they either watching baseball every single day at Cappinn live. I'm not bringing up just anybody for sure. Jeff does Sports Memo shows. Bunch of different clients over there. So appreciate you, Jeff. His pop's one of the OGs in the game. If you don't know, you got to just go Google that, figure that out for yourself. And then last but not least, I see my guys in the building though, like my hometown guys. I see Zay in the building. My boy Turo. I actually rode to school with Zay when I was in 9th grade because me and Turo we was 9th graders and Turo and Zay was a junior, so we didn't want to ride the bus, so we used to ride to school with Zay and with his brother Zay when he got his license first. So like my hometown guys, I played youth league basketball with in the building. Shout out to them as well. Turo, I see you requested up, bro. If you got anything, feel free to share before we get out of here. If not, it's all good. It's all good, bro. Yeah, but good luck on all your action today, man. As always. I'm gonna shut this thing down. Y'all be good, man.
As always, Chris.
Hey, appreciate you, Commissioner, for being here. Turo, can you hear me?
Yo,
What up, bro?
what up?
I can't call it, man. What you doing, bro?
I ain't know you sports bet, man. I just hopped in on this joint.
Yeah, we be going at it, bro. Trying to get to some money all the time, bro.
Me and my brother sitting right here. They said, "What up?"
Tell him I said, "What up, man?" Call me in a minute.
Yeah, I need some picks.
Bet. My number ain't changed, bro. Holla at me.
All right.
All right.